Hello friends, how are all of you? Hope you are doing well. I am fine. Today I have come here to help you to know degree and the changing of degree from positive to comparative, positive to superlative, vice versa, superlative to positive, superlative to comparative, or comparative to positive in this way. What is degree? Degree is the comparison of adjective. Comparison of adjective is called degree. Comparison of adjective is called degree. Degree three types: positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. An adjective or a degree which does not compare a person with another person or a thing with another thing is called positive degree. Comparative, when an adjective or degree is compared or compares between two persons, between two things, is called comparative. That means comparison will be between two things and two persons. Superlative degree, an adjective or a degree which compares a person with many persons, more than two, or a thing more than two things, is called superlative degree. That means comparison will be of more than two, among more than two. So let's see the rules. For positive degree, we will see no other, very few, SS or so as. This type of criteria we will see. If we see this type of criteria, at the time we will say that the sentence is in positive degree. Comparative degree, then any other, then most other. Then if we see these types of criteria or these types of words, at the time we will say that it is comparative degree. Superlative degree, after bar, the or one of the. If we find these types of words or this type of criteria, at the time we will say that it is in superlative degree. If we see no other, in positive, if we need to change the positive into comparative, at the time we need then any other. For superlative, the is necessary. If we see very few in positive, at the time for comparative, then most other is necessary. For superlative, one of these necessary. Also, change of adjective is necessary, such as if in positive, clever; for comparative degree, cleverer; for superlative degree, cleverest; such as bigger, bigger, big, bigger, biggest; large, larger, largest. In this way you have to change also the form of adjective. Then 3, if we find only ss, he is as good as I. If we find ss or so as, at that time we need only to use then, but in that case you have to make the sentence negative also, such as he is as good as I am not better than he is. In this way, uh, but commonly the superlative is not used. Superlative is not done in that way, to ss or so as in positive. If I tell here that, but in some cases that can be done also. Nothing is as fine as it. Nothing is as fine as it. That means superlative will be, it is the finest thing. In this way, that can be changed in some cases. Nothing is as fine as it. It is the finest thing. In this way. Okay. Let's get started to know to change, how to change. Such as no other boy is as good as Nishan in our village. No other, this one is in positive. I have told you that if we find no other, then any other is necessary at first. But you have to remember that whenever we are going to positive to comparative, positive to superlative, at the time we have to begin from the last one, such as good as. After s we have to begin our the sentence. If you say that's are positive to comparative, okay, I'm beginning from this part. From positive to superlative, I'm beginning from this part. But if we begin from comparative to positive, at the time also will. But when you see that there is necessity and there is positive, at the time you have to begin to change from the last part actually, from this part. I will show you, no problem. But comparative to superlative to comparative, we don't see here any positive, any sign of positive. Comparative to superlative to comparative. At the time we would like to begin from this part, such as comparative superlative from the beginning. But whenever you are going to positive to comparative, positive to superlative, or comparative to positive, superlative to positive, at that time you have to begin from the last part. Whenever you see that, whenever you are asked to do positive from comparative to positive, or whenever you are asked to do positive to comparative superlative, at the time you have to begin from the last part. But if you are asked from comparative to superlative or superlative to comparative, at the time you have to begin from the beginning. So let's get started. I am telling that SS, after S I would like to begin. Nishan. Nishan is, as it is in present form, I have written here present form. Good, that will be comparative form. Better. Nishan is better. I have told you that for no other than any other is necessary. Nishan is better than any other. Than this one, better than any other boy in our village. And for superlative degree also, I am changing from the positive. Nishan is the best boy in our village. In this way you can do. No other girl is so clever as Rita. No other girl is as clever as Rita. Rita is cleverer than any other girl. Rupa is, no other girl is as wise as Rupa. Rupa is wiser than any other girl. In this way make sentence. In this way make sentence. Then no other boy is as intelligent as Shemul. Shemul is more intelligent than any other boy. For superlative, Shemul is the most intelligent boy. In this way, write down the exercise and try to understand. Rule 2. Very few. For very few in positive, then most other is necessary in comparative. One of the is necessary for superlative. In the same way, very few boys are as good as. I have told you that whenever you are asked to do from positive to comparative or superlative, then you have to begin after S. Such as here, Nishan is better than most other. If we find very few at a time, then most other will be. Nishan is better than most other these boys. Most other boys in our village. See. For superlative degree, one of these necessary. Again, I am beginning from the S positive. Nishan is one of the best boys in our village. In this way, I am giving more example, such as very few girls are so honest as Ritu. Very few girls are as honest as Ritu. Ritu is more honest than most other girls. Write down the sentence. Superlative. Ritu is one of the most. I have told you that very few girls are as honest as Ritu. Ritu is more honest than most other girls. Superlative. Ritu is one of the most honest girls. Very few things are as fine as of this book. This book is finer than most other things. For superlative, This book is one of the one of the finest one of the finest things. Very few people are very few people are as wise as Rahman. Rahman is wiser than most other people. Rahman is one of the wisest people in this way. For role 3, as or so as, he runs as fast as uh, Rafi. He runs as fast as Rafi. See, there is no other or very few word, only SS. He runs as fast as Rafi. I have told you that in this case you have to make the sentence negative. Rafi does not or cannot. Rafi does not or cannot run faster than he. He writes. He writes as good as I. I don't write or I cannot write faster than he. In this way. In case of the use of as, at that time you have to make the sentence into negative or into negation. In some cases I have told you that this type of sentence can be made into a superlative. Nothing is as good as it. It is the best thing in this way. I think that you have understood well, but I would like to repeat it again. Degree. What is degree? Comparison of adjective is called degree. Degree 3 types: positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. Positive degree, an adjective or a degree which doesn't compare a person with another person or a thing with another thing, is called positive degree. Comparative degree, when an adjective or degree compares between two things or two persons, is called comparative degree. Superlative degree, when an adjective or degree compares a person with more than two or a thing with more than two, is called superlative degree. Roles, no other, very few S's. If we see no other, very few S's, that means it is in positive degree. If we see then any other, then most other, only then, that means the sentence is in comparative degree. If we see after verb superlative form or the plus superlative form, one of the plus superlative form, the sentence is in superlative degree. If we find no other, if we are asked to change it into comparative, then any other will be necessary. If we are asked to do superlative, then after verb the plus superlative will be necessary. If we see very few, then most other will be necessary. One of the plus superlative form will be necessary for doing a superlative. If we see SS or so as, if we don't see there no other or very few, in that case we have to make the sentence into negative, and then is necessary. Such as, I have told you that one, no other boy is as good as Rafi. Rafi is better than any other boy. For superlative, Rafi is the best boy. Role 2, very few boys are as good as Rafi. Rafi is better than most other boys. For superlative, Rafi is the best. Rafi is one of the best boys in this way. For all 3, he runs. He runs as fast as I. I don't run or I cannot run faster than he. He rides. He rides as fast as I. I cannot ride or I don't ride faster than he. I have told you that in some cases superlative degree can be done. Nothing is as beautiful as it. It is the most beautiful thing in this way. I hope you have enjoyed much and try to understand. A little bit difficult, I agree with you. But if you try, you can understand well. Okay, I will come back again with another topic, with another grammatical item. So till then, bye bye.